Hello everyone, I am Ernesto F. Manya Jr. Let us continue discussing size, technology, and cost efficiency as factors in strategic planning in distance education. We need to keep in mind that there are factors to be balanced, and this includes size, input substitution, and the choice of media. When we talk about distance learning system size, it varies from a handful of students to over 100,000 students. It could also mean students enrolling in a particular course that ranges from 100 to even beyond 5,000. So what is the implication? With distance education having limited number of teachers that need to reach larger number of students, there will be a change in the cost function, as there will be a substitution of capital in the form of investment in materials and infrastructures from the usual intensive labor process of conventional teaching. When we talk about input substitution, it has something to do with economies of scales in the delivery process and the ability of the institution to spread fixed costs over a larger number of students. Let's talk about the cost of conventional education system. This is basically made up of fixed cost and variable cost. When we talk about fixed costs, this do not vary with student numbers. On the other hand, when we talk about variable cost, this could either increase or decrease in line with either the increase or the decrease in the number of students. Hence, this can be generalized as TC equals F plus VS. Because the number of teachers is directly related to the number of students, a significant part of the variable cost is the teacher salary. And once syllabus have been defined, there is relatively little time spent on developing courses. Hence, expanding the curriculum is also a variable cost. In distance education system, the cost of time invested by teachers in the development of curriculum and the materials is also a significant fixed cost. However, if the number of courses is increased, then the fixed cost of developing and maintaining them also increases. Hence, the cost function is DC equals F plus DC divided by L plus MC plus VS. In effect, the development costs of a course are being annualized over the life of the course. Hence, the annualized fixed cost of a course that is being developed can be lowered by increasing the life of the course that is being made. Now let's talk about media. We have to take note that the choices which distance educators make in respect of media can have a significant effect on the behavior of the cost function. So increasing the amount of face-to-face and correspondence tuition increases the variable cost per student without affecting the fixed cost. And choosing radio over television broadcast also increases the fixed cost, since the cost of production and transmission are unaffected by students' number, but the extent by which the total cost of the system changes, and this varies between radio and television. The production cost of videos may also be lowered relative to the cost of television if the video is put into cassette for distribution to students. However, the variable cost per students of delivery by cassette is considerable. So what do we mean by that? That is why most systems do not contemplate this as an option, because if there is a high number of students, it may be feasible to consider using video cassette on courses. But with low number of students, since the total cost will then be low, or if the students can be paying for the videos themselves. How about computer-mediated costs? They are relatively high, and of course, it depends on the systems to be used. So they may fall on the student or in the institution. And in order to avoid this cost, institution would have to change the system so that students link directly to a computer at the university. However, we have to take note that students would then have to pick up the cost of the connection through the telephone system, such as long-distance call rates. And another takeaway that we have to remember is that the cheapest media tend to be those in print, audio cassettes, and radio. And on the other hand, when we talk about film, television, video, and computer-based systems, they are rendered to be more expensive. So in terms of tuition, which is labor-intensive, this is used, but the level of usage is generally restricted in order to keep the total and direct student cost down. So media choice can have significant impact on system cost. So the media that is most commonly used tend to be print, audio cassettes, and radio in conjunction with some face-to-face contact. Overall, each media has its own structure and its own level of fixed and per student variable cost. This cost structure makes it more or less appropriate depending on the number of students in the system. Thank you very much, everyone, and happy learning. Bye.